Nick, I'll start with you. Coming into the season, what were you focusing on in the offseason to prepare?
This offseason made the World team, so I was extremely focused on doing good at Worlds. I just got back from it. Obviously, I didn't do what I wanted to do, so coming into this season, I'm really focused on going with people that are going to beat me up in the room, so I'm just prepared to go out there and do my best and put on a show.
And can you talk about that experience at Worlds?
Did good in the first period, didn't do too great in the second period. Place was pretty, though, and that was about it.
Try any good food or anything else like that? I know
Yeah.
not too much, but...
I stayed away from all the food they made for me. I just kind of stuck to eating yogurt and stuff I know wasn't poisonous.
What kind of expectations are you putting on yourself this year?
I'm putting a lot of expectations on myself. Obviously, last year I did all right. By the end of it, I didn't do too good. And then this summer with Worlds and compete the way I wanted to, I got to really step it up this season and really put myself out there.
Okay, and Dylan, I'll come to you next. For your off-season, were there any things you focused on specifically?
Yeah, there's always specific things that we kind of go through certain training cycles with. Do a lot of one-on-one work with Coach Jaggers. A lot of us come in the morning and do some focused individual technique. So we would usually go in cycles, kind of beat the door down with a certain position, something like that, for a few weeks in a row, and then kind of pivot as we need to. So there's always little small things to do, like those minute details that really separate you in Division I wrestling. So, front end stuff, like getting into the legs, and then certain aspects with finishing and defense, those kind of things where we just really get into the weeds with it, and kind of those small details that kind of help you jump levels.
And for you, are there expectations you're putting on yourself this year?
I wouldn't necessarily say expectations from a negative standpoint. Just kind of really want to glorify all I've done. This is my last year, so really just want to wrestle to the best of my ability every match I have, and just really enjoy the moments of traveling with the team, being with the guys, the camaraderie that comes with it, and then just giving everything I have. And it's kind of, you get stuck in it for so long. You've been on the team for a while. Now it's like, well, now there is a finite end to it. So really just having fun with it and getting after it and competing as hard as I can.
How do you use your experiences to help the younger guys on the team?
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of things that I've been through, ups and downs, and a lot of things I've struggled with over the years where, I might see somebody else going through a similar struggle and just trying to give my 2 cents or just be there for them, kind of reach out to certain guys. But we have a really great team. The guys, everybody's for each other, so we all kind of lean on each other, and just being an upperclassman, making sure other guys know they can lean on me too.
You talked about being together. What would you describe as like the culture of the team?
Amazing. I think our culture is different here. It really is. And, we talk about the Brotherhood, how we feel like a family, and that's really how it is. And I can honestly say that, up and down the lineup, guys that are starters, guys that maybe are a little farther away from that. But everybody's super close, and that makes it a lot more enjoyable. And, we just feel it feels close. It feels like a brotherhood. It feels different than an organization that doesn't have that.
Thank you. And Jesse, for you, champion last year, what's it going to take this year for you to repeat?
Yeah, I say it all the time. I think repeating's harder than the first one. A lot of guys win that first one, they become complacent. Win international titles is a lot of people's final goal. But I set at a young age to win multiple, and I'm gonna win that second one and then win that third one. But I want to do it in more dominant fashion this year. So I've just been adding new wrinkles to my game, trying to be more creative, find more opportunities to get to the leg, and widen that gap between myself and those top guys.
Any specifics in terms of what you worked on, or just kind of all around?
Just entry points. In the hand fight, trying to stay ahead when I put a guy down, making sure they feel it, and just bringing pressure without bringing myself out of position.
And so, what do you, 2 years in, how do you going to a junior now, how do you want to lead the team going forward this year, being the champion?
Yeah, I mean, coming into college, I really didn't have a clear view on what a college season was. I didn't have a lot of respect for All-Americans. It kind of blew my mind that people would celebrate being an All-American. And then I get here and I realize, being an All-American is tough. And it takes a lot of sacrifice and a lot of discipline. And so, yeah, I just want to, lead these younger guys and some of my guys on my teammates and what you can expect and, the way you should work, the way you should be going at a weight cut. Not to put anybody on a pedestal because that's something I kind of struggled with. Basically just off the singlet they wore. They didn't have to be a great wrestler, but, not respecting anybody too much, but having respect for everybody. And, I think the biggest thing is leading by example. It's really easy to work hard when, I have guys like this working really hard next to me. So that's something I want to be, is a hard worker and somebody that they could look towards and, think they've done what I want to do. And I just got to emulate it.
Thank you. And for you, as you just mentioned, looking at him, what do you see in Jesse that will help you?
He just has a crazy work ethic. Every morning I'm ever in. In the morning when we work with Jaggers, he's always in there. He's got either Davino, he's got D'Amelio, he's got partners. He's always in the morning. He's always, constantly improving his craft, and you could see that he's happy to be doing it. He's not like, when something's wrong and what he's working on, say it's an underhook and there's something that's not clicking with it, he talks it through with Jaggers and feels out the position and doesn't just, give up on it and be like, all right, well, I tried today, let's come back tomorrow. He messes around with it, and you can see the enjoyment he has in constantly getting better and improving in his craft. So
If you'd like to add anything to that, you can go ahead.
Yeah, he's just an animal on the mat. There's no, you can't take it easy with him, and just watching him, just seeing how hard he trains, really inspires the rest of the team.
And for you too, you guys can take your turns answering this. In the offseason, were there specific areas you guys focused on? Or?
for this offseason, I was really focused on becoming more fundamental. I feel like I thrived a lot in positions where I was unorthodox last year, scrambling and stuff like that. And I was, top and bottom, and was good at creating positions where, I could thrive in, positions that most people weren't familiar with. But I feel like I was kind of struggling in positions that were very basic, like basic wrestling, baseline defense, and, just staying in better position overall. And that was one of my main focuses this offseason with Coach Jaggers and Stever, and just, working on getting the legs cleaner and staying stronger in my position, which is it's helped me elevate my game a lot.
For me, I think just being less, sporadic with my wrestling, just be more methodical and stay aggressive, but not be as wild and all over the place where I get out of position.
And for you, how can you balance that aggression and wildness?
It's hard for me. I just want to go out and score, and so it's hard to, tone it down sometimes. But, just working with coaches Logan and Jay and Bo, I've been able to improve on staying less crazy.
And this is for anybody. We talked about the culture. What are some of the things you guys do together outside of practice just to build chemistry?
Honestly, there's a lot of video game playing. I mean, there's a few groups that like playing video games. There's a few other groups that like just doing stuff outside. I mean, a few guys that like to hunt, but we're always together. I mean, my house is 2 houses away from Dillon, so we're constantly together. So it's a mixture of things, but we're a family, and we really see it that way. So if someone wants to go off and do something, someone's going with them. So it's a brotherhood here.
Thank you.
So you're going to go that way. There's never a good time for injury, right?
Yeah.
When it happens right now, how big of a gut punch is that?
I mean, it sucks, and it's difficult, but I'm glad it's kind of now, not later in the season. I should be able to, recover and bounce back.
Is there a timeline where you think you'll be ready to go?
I hope that I can wrestle at Michigan State.
Okay. After last year, the experiences you were able to get, what did you learn about yourself that you want to take into this year?
I learned that I feel like I can hang with the best guys, and that I'm good enough to be up there, and so that's what I'm taking into this year. Just know that I just got to believe in myself and keep working.
In terms of the work that you're able to do with an injury, what is it you're able to do to improve in areas where you have to grow while still protecting, obviously, your injury?
Yeah, I mean, just be careful when I'm wrestling. Don't want to be doing too much, but definitely watching film is good. Watch a lot of the Japanese wrestlers at U23 and Senior Worlds, and just staying positive.
Brendon, last year, you kind of hit on it a little bit, having success in unconventional situations. You kind of grabbed hold of the weight class and held it through the year. Your area of growth like we talked to Ryder kind of about the same thing. How do you balance wanting to have that base forward mentality and scoring in traditional ways and holding position with not losing the things that gave you success?
Just practicing it, like one thing that these leaders talk about every day is just, practice what you preach. And, I'm really trying to work on my baseline defense and, hand fighting and staying strong on my feet. And, in the room, it's really key to hone in on those positions, that you really need to improve on. Don't be afraid to get scored on. Just really work on those positions, or you won't really see much success in it. You could talk about it, but you're not going to get much success from it if you can't translate it on the mat.
There are a lot of names at 125, 133 on the team. That obviously gives you a lot of different workout partners. How do you kind of look at that like this is a different opportunity to face something different and try something different every day, every go?
I mean, there's different guys for different, that have different strong suits. I think it's just, I'm a guy that I like to go with everybody on the team. Like everybody that's, from 149 and down, I kind of try to grab anybody I can that I know is gonna make me work hard and make me work through my positions. And I think that's been key, is going with guys that I know are stronger and are gonna push me to be the best version of myself.
What kind of confidence lift for you was the success you had last year?
It was a big confidence lift, especially in some of those big dual meets like Virginia Tech and NC State. I got to see against Michigan. I didn't have that good of a match, but my other teammates bring me up, and we ended up coming out of that dual meet on top. So I just, I wanted to be like, for this season, I wanted to be that I'm going to go out and I'm going to compete and I'm going to help this team every way I can.
Jesse, you are the hunted now. I know that you have your goals, and those goals are multiple national championships. Do you think about that aspect, that you're not trying to scratch to the top of the mountain anymore? Now you're the guy that's there, and you're trying to keep everybody from taking what's yours?
I don't know if I'd put it that way. I still think there's things I got to check off my checklist. I mean, I'm ranked number 2 right now as a returning national champion, so it's almost going into it feeling a little disrespected. So no, I kind of feel like I have something to prove, that I am number 1, and I want to do that in dominant fashion.
The things that you talked about earlier that you want to improve upon, do you compare those to, I guess, to yourself, or do you look at other guys who maybe do something, whatever little thing, a little bit better than you do, and say, okay, I need to match that, and then is that a way to kind of keep yourself focused on those things?
I think I'd go at it kind of like a student of the sport. I watch a lot of film. I watched 2 hours of wrestling just last night. So it's I'm just always trying to add new wrinkles to my game, and it's not because Bartlett. I don't think Bartlett could stop this. No, it's because I want to be a better wrestler. So just trying to add new wrinkles to my game, diversify my offense, and when you have so many attacks and so many setups, it's going to be hard to dictate where I'm coming from.
You said something earlier that I hadn't really thought about that makes me think about something non-wrestling related. You realized how hard it is to be an All-American,
Mm-hmm.
that it's not just the top of the heap that means someone has accomplished something. What does that do for your worldview when you look at other people who, this guy wanted to be a mechanic and became a mechanic, or this guy overcame that? How does that change that realization that becoming something, not just the thing, is a good in life?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best way I can put it is I'm really only my family and my teammates and my coaches have seen the sacrifices and the discipline that it takes. So it's, I mean, when anybody accomplishes anything, there's going to be sacrifice and discipline, and they have to sacrifice a bunch of their life to do such things. And so you don't have to be at that pinnacle to have success. Being an All-American is awesome, and I'm sure a lot of my teammates are chasing that. And just because somebody's at the top and somebody's sixth place doesn't mean the sacrifices are outweighed. Like, they both sacrificed, they both put in work, and they both had to have discipline and consistency.
Dylan, you are at the point in your career where your worldview is right. That's next, right? How you approach the rest of your life is coming. How do you balance thinking that with staying in the now to win every match that you can, or win every situation that you can, win each day that you can?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I do a pretty good job of that. Pretty focused in the present. Always kind of thought life continues after wrestling, pretty much after this year. But I've kind of always thought of it as like kind of just building up my own skills, like not just as a wrestler but as a man too. Kind of the way I live my life, discipline, all the skills you learn from being an elite athlete. So I try trust in that, and what I've made myself into, what the culture has made myself into, to take me where I want to go in the future. And now I'm really, I do a pretty good job taking day by day, kind of just trying to do what I can in each day to improve and reach the goals that I have and succeed where I am now.
I talked to the other group about the leadership on this team that's been passed from seniors to freshmen, then those guys are seniors and they pass it along. You're there now. You're
Mm-hmm.
the guy that's passing to the next generation. What mark do you hope you leave on Ohio State wrestling?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if there needs to be a mark that I leave on this program. I think you just people keep buying into this culture, and that'll carry us through years to come. And the culture of the Brotherhood, like we talked about, how close we are, culture of doing things right, being disciplined, enjoying each other, like that we get to go in here and do really hard things. Gratitude, I'm extremely grateful to be here. Grew up a huge Buckeye fan. This is like a dream of mine to be here, and I've been able to live it for 6 years of my life, which is incredible. And that starts from the top. Our coaches are amazing. Coach Ryan's probably the best leader I've ever met, seen, and I get to have a great relationship with him. So he upholds that, and then it kind of trickles down to us. And then as leaders of the team, on the team, you uphold that culture, and then the young guys buy into it, and it's a cycle that it's really good. So I don't know if I need to leave a mark like this is Dylan D'Amelio's mark on Ohio State wrestling. I think it's just upholding that standard and that culture, and that's we're on the right page. We're doing the right things as a team. So I think just upholding that standard is the best thing that we can do.
Nick, we're running out of time here, but last year you kind of mentioned you didn't reach your goals at the end of the season. Things didn't go the way that you wanted to. What is the key for you? Because there were a lot of successful moments as well. What's the key for you to maintain the consistency of those successful moments throughout the course of the season?
For me, I think right now it's just gas tank and being the most active person out on the mat during a match and just not getting tired. I mean, everyone gets tired, but being better about showing that I'm not tired. Need to just be constantly moving, and so I can compete with these guys and not mentally, like, I don't want to say breaking, but going somewhere else mentally while I'm in a match. There's a lot of examples. I mean, I could have a great match. I wrestled Dayton Fix, and I had him on the ropes, and then I turn around, wrestle another kid from Penn State that I beat earlier in the year, and he whooped me. It's just got to stay focused for longer periods of time. I have issues with that, and that's something I'm trying to work on now this year.
Do you think there's a relationship between the gas tank and the focus?
Absolutely. I mean, you're going to get a lot more tired when you're wrestling not to lose instead of wrestling to win. And wrestling to win, you're going to be focused the whole time, and all you want is to get your hands on that person and rip them apart. Wrestling not to lose, you're just standing there hoping he doesn't shoot, which I should not be doing.
Is there anything you do off the mat to try and, I don't know, meditation, whatever, exercises to improve and maintain those kinds of things?
I don't know if I would call it meditation, but I'll run, put on my music, and just mentally be somewhere else and just run or lift.
Because it's training like anything else, right?
Yeah, but it's a way to just kind of let go of what's going on in the now and just kind of release, I guess.
Thanks, guys.
Anything else? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.